Hey guys, it's 2002 V6 on the quad. I had a problem with power steering. I took the old one out. So what I did, I have not dropped down the frame at that time. I were able to use, I think it's called crescent wrench. You can get that from the Harbor Freight, and you can watch YouTube videos. You just put it on and you use your extension and regular wrench to get it out. So as far as the lines goes, so that was a challenge. Then some of the brackets, the bolts were just twisting. I had a hard time with some of them. My exhaust, as you can see, I have to take the whole thing out because it's all welded. So again, mine is V6, so there'll be 3 bolts on each side. I sprayed it before I took it off. Completely took off the frame bolts on this side. It will be 3 bolts, second and third one. Put a jack underneath, kind of lower it down a little bit more. Very hard, struggle for a very long time. Same thing on this side. I didn't loosen it all the way. Something was holding. It's about how much? I don't know, maybe an inch on this side, and this one's about 1.5 inches. Lower this side. Now when you take your exhaust, if you decide to take the exhaust, the whole thing, just remember you have connections for the for your sensors, the oxygen sensors. So since I had a hard time putting this back in, I was thinking about taking the inner tie rod. I borrowed from AutoZone, but since it was not on the car, it was very hard for me to get a grip on. So I decided to see if I can still lower the frame lower, and see if I can get that in. So the biggest challenge is the other end. When you put it in, you put in the driver's side in first, and then you slide your passenger, and of course you just compress this down to make it smaller, and then from that side you push this in, but you have to kind of twist it and maneuver very hard. Thank God it just suddenly happened. I had a very hard time doing that. Here's the tool that you can get from AutoZone. That's how it works. It's one of them. You just put it on, then the locks in, and you use your wrench on the back, or your bar, whatever, braking bar. So what I would do if you have a V6, definitely, and I also forgot to mention, I also disconnected the control arm. I think that was holding it up a little bit, so I did that, and you can see they're kind of low enough. So that's all I disconnected. Probably forgetting something. So what I would do, instead of taking the lines off right away, disconnect your exhaust, take all the brackets off, and then lower the frame. Of course, you gotta use your jacks, make sure you have some kind of support. But lower the frame, and then you should have more access to the lines. It'll be much easier to disconnect the lines, because the lines can be very challenging. Of course, spray them a few times. And like I said, that crescent wrench that I used worked pretty good. Just have to have some leverage. Alright guys, hopefully it helped.